I think this is a critically important effort to hold accountable corrupt officials, uh, uh, close relatives, and inner circle for Donald Trump in their effort to stifle the duties of a official in the U.S. government. This had a enormous chilling effect on both the folks that would come forward to report wrongdoing in that administration, but it was also intended to suppress officials and their conduct of their duties. To this day, we see folks being too scared to come forward, too scared to come out and speak up against their corruption that they're witnessing. And I think that was the whole effort. It undermines democracy, it undermines good order and governance. And I think it's absolutely important for me, the victim in this case, to attempt to hold these folks accountable. We have a very strong case. There is a great deal to believe that Donald Trump and his inner circle, including Don Jr., Dan Scavino, Julia Hahn, and Rudy Giuliani, all conspired to retaliate against me, to attempt to silence me and punish me for reporting wrongdoing.
Now, I personally don't believe that anyone is surprised by this, that the Trump family would go out of their way to lie and spread misinformation about someone because, they've never done this before. Of course, this is how they live. This is how they conduct business. This is how they go about their lives. If anyone dares say the truth about them, because the truth about them is very ugly, as we know, you're going to have it. You're going to have to deal with it. And as we also know, Donald Trump is a compulsive, habitual, pathological liar. People like him lie for no reason. He could have a hot dog for lunch and you could ask him, hey, what'd you have for lunch today? And he could say, I had pasta. Why did you lie about that? He doesn't know. They don't know. People like this don't know. They just lie. And so, again, doing anything with them, you're going to get more and more of the same. So, no, I'm not surprised by this. As unfortunate as it is, well, it's just par for the course at this point. Now, what's most important about what Vindman is saying is that these type of tactics literally undermine democracy. They undermine the process of law. They undermine the process of justice. But as we know, this is what the Trumps do. But more importantly, this is the Republican Party's energy. This is how they function. This is how they win, because people really don't like the agenda that they have to sell. Now, the Democratic agenda isn't totally popular, but it's certainly a hell of a lot more popular than the Republican agenda. This is why they don't care about the process of law when it comes to the elections and the electoral process. Now, what's most important for us to remember, again, this is why we cannot let Republicans have federal power as much as possible. We can't let them in at least any time in the foreseeable future, because they know that their clocks are ticking, and there's just going to be much more of this type of behavior, much more of these types of actions that inhibit the process of justice. And now it's time for the holy grail of the most important points from this video. It's that, what the hell are the Democrats going to do about it? What are you guys really going to do about this? Because when it all boils down to it, you have to pass popular policy. If you want to stay in office, you gotta raise wages. You gotta balance out the tax system. You have to make healthcare affordable. You have to make higher education both modern and more accessible. You have to really take our infrastructure into the future so that we can actually truly represent what we always say about how America's number one, and really be true behind our brand. You have to really fix the criminal justice system. You have to make marijuana legal, tax it, regulate it. You gotta do things like this, because if you do stuff like that, I don't care what type of rhetoric the Republicans are spewing, people are going to vote for you, because no matter what they say, they go to their mailbox and they notice that their taxes are more fair. They go to their mailbox and they notice that their checks are fatter. They have more money to buy things for their family. They have more money to set aside so that their kids can go to school, or so that they can maybe go out to eat a couple more times a month. Things like that. If they notice that their lives are this type of improved when you're in office, then they are going to vote for you. So that's the real question. Democrats, what are you going to do about it?